Hello and welcome again. Glad you could tune in for this second session of All Things Celtic. To begin, I'd like to say thank you to all the people who have sent me notices that they enjoyed the first video and encouraging me. I also appreciated their comments and additional questions, some of which I'm going to try and answer right off the bat today. I had originally intended to make this second session entirely devoted to answering two questions, which was who were the Celts and who are the Celts. I think some of the other issues that were raised are important, so I will address those, and so we will probably end up with session 2 being 2A and 2B. So to begin with some of the questions that were asked. This is not one of them, but if you notice me looking off at the distance here and not at the camera, it's because I have the plan for this particular session up on the screen so I don't lose my way too badly. One question was, how often do you plan to produce these videos? Well, I'm going to shoot for an average of 2 a month. Sometimes it may be more, but it also, just depending upon what the next couple months hold, because there are some changes taking place in my life, it may be that I'll only get to 1 a month, but I'm going to shoot for 2. One person asked, why do you look so serious on the video? Well, I don't know as I really have a complete answer, other than the fact that I was exhausted and as well frustrated with the software, which I had only just finally gotten to work, and so I was determined to get that first video out. I did, however, recall an admonition from my favorite Franciscan friar, Father Leo Joseph, who years ago said to me that he had to learn to smile more because he had such a large beard, and he realized that people with beards look more fierce. So I will try and smile more, and that way and not quite look so serious. One person noted that I was wearing kilts. When I walked onto the frame, they noticed that I was wearing kilts, and the question is, what about the kilts? Well, I wear kilts. That's what I wear. There are reasons for it, and when we get further into things Celtic, I'll explain to you my reasons for wearing the kilt. It has very much to do with being a Celt, but nonetheless, I like them, so I wear them all the time, except in the shower. Someone commented on the particular terminology that I used and wanted to know why I was choosing those particular terms in the first video. I will make that a little clearer as we go on, but I want you to know that I have carefully chosen the terms that I'm using, and I believe that it is important how you say things in addition to what you are saying. So I will explain my use of terms as we go along. One reader of my book, Celtic Spirit Fire, asked me, are you anti-Christian? Because of the things I had written in the book Celtic Spirit Fire. I would feel it very sad indeed to have anyone think that I had singled out Christianity to be anti-Christian. I agree really with Pat Condell. The problem is not Christianity, the problem is not Judaism, the problem is not Islam. The problem is religion, period. And so please do not be mistaken, I am not singling out Christianity. I have equal animosity for all religions because I think they are in fact the biggest problem the world has. Another person asks, who do you think you are to criticize the church? Well, I think I will answer that the same way that I answered a person several years ago when I was asked, what gives you the right to think that you have the privilege or the ability to speak about survivors of childhood sexual abuse? My response to them was, because I was also abused, and that gives me the right to speak. And as respect to the church, I existed within that organization and was duly mauled by it, and therefore I earned the right to speak about it. I may in fact devote an entire discussion to why I am not a Christian. But if I do that, I will not do it as part of these sessions, All Things Celtic, because Christianity and things Celtic, they are absolutely not related. Even for those people that are quote-unquote Celtic Christians, it doesn't exist. All right, I'm already into 5 minutes. Let's see. Why am I a Gaelic polytheist? I am a Gaelic polytheist because it's the only thing that makes any sense to me. It's not a matter of faith, it's a matter of logic. I think there are only two logical paths that a person could choose between. One is Gaelic polytheism, and the other is atheism. You might want to look at Christopher Hitchens' book, God is Not Good. He's also on YouTube. Just simply type in God is Not Good and he'll come up, and you want to watch what he has to say, including all the interviews and the debates. I think his approach is extremely rational. My conclusion was basically the same as his and Pat Condell's, in that I feel religion to be a plague, but they chose atheism and I chose polytheism. All right, and so probably I will explain later on why I am a Gaelic polytheist and what the logic is behind it, because that has something to do with our topic of all things Celtic. In the first video, I explained that I had two objectives for producing these series. I gave you the first one, which was to answer the questions, but I failed to give you the second one. So here it goes. The second reason is that I wanted to provide rational and sound information about things that are Celtic. We live in a remarkable time. In the last 100 years, there is more information available about things Celtic than has been available for 1,000 years. Unfortunately, most of what is out there for general public consumption is absolute shite. Apparently, all you have to do is slap the word Celtic on something and it's after flying out the door. Not to mention pouring money in the publisher's back door. Most of what is out there from all devotional sources, whether pagan or Christian, is in fact erroneous. So I wanted to give an opportunity to provide some sound information and sources. I would say that most of the material published by the various so-called pagan publishing houses, I would recommend you stay away from it, including the self-proclaimed Celtic scholars, both John and Caitlin Matthews, or what I refer to as popular so-called armchair spirituality, whether pagan or Christian, including things like Rosemary Roberts' book, 10-Minute Celtic Spirituality. Anytime you see anything that says 10-minute anything, you're not going to get the real thing. Okay? What is here is an unfortunate conglomeration of New Age thinking and an approach mixed in with a few things Celtic. So I would avoid things like this altogether. Also, things like Celtic encyclopedias, which are dubious to say the least. Okay. I would also recommend strongly that you run away from anything that includes a discussion of Aryan influences and theories. This has all been debunked and is really detrimental to the development of any spirit path, adequate spirit path.